None of us are born with confidence. This is really, really important to acknowledge and to be clear on. Nobody, no human being is just born confident because it's a learned skill, it's a learned behavior. Now, some people go, that's rubbish, Matt, because I've seen babies, then they're really confident, like trying stuff, and like they'll make loads of noise in public and they're not scared, they don't fear judgment. That is very, very different. That's not because they're confident, right? When a baby's screaming, like in public, it's not because they're confident they're going to get what they want or they're confident they're not going to be judged. They just haven't yet developed the awareness and the understanding of why they should fear judgment or care what other people think. So babies are not confident. They're not confident in the outcome. They're curious. That's the difference. Babies are just curious to try stuff. You know, if they feel a certain way, they'll act how they feel because they're curious to see what's going to happen. It doesn't mean they're confident in the outcome, because confidence is built from evidence. Once we've got substantial evidence that something works, we can be confident that it works. Does this make sense? Let me know in the comments. So the reason that I share that is because right off the bat, we've got to recognize that confidence is something built up in our mind. Whether we do believe in ourselves or we don't, it's all based on our thoughts, okay? So it's not a case of, oh, this is the thing that a lot of people do. They go, oh, they're just naturally confident, them. They're just always confident. And let me tell you now, I know there's a lot of actors that I'm working with now in my coaching and so on, but I myself, my background, you know, when I was a child, I was an actor. I did a little bit of television, theater, things like that. And people just look at actors like they're super confident, like they can get on stage, they can speak on camera, all these kind of things. And people go, oh, they must just be super confident. Let me tell you now, in my experience, the majority of actors that I met and worked with were some of the least confident people that I knew. The difference was that they just had the courage to commit to putting themselves out there, to trying stuff. That's it. But a lot of actors are actually super insecure, in my experience. And the reason being, and I'm going to talk about this, but the reason being is they're searching for so much external validation from other people. And when we look for external validation from other people, we don't have validation from ourselves. Therefore, we lack genuine confidence. And if you think about it, that's because the industry is literally set up like that. Like, you get a call from your agent, oh, well done, you've got an audition. And you're like, woohoo, I feel confident now because my agent has said I've got an audition. You go to the audition, and if the casting director says, well done, we liked that, woohoo, you feel confident because your agent gave you, the casting director gave you a compliment. Then if you get the job, you feel confident. Then if on opening night, the reviews are really good, you feel confident. So as actors, a lot of us are putting all our confidence on things we have no control over, which is ultimately other people's opinion. And this is why you can see, and I'm sure lots of you that are actors or know actors and so on may have your own experiences of this. This is where you can see people on cloud nine when they're working and they're doing jobs, and then they feel rubbish and worthless and useless when they're a year out of work and they've not been getting jobs. Therefore, they're basing their confidence on external validation, what other people think, and they're basing their confidence on evidence. What's the results? What's the outcomes that I've got? And this is where it can be super damaging. But I just want to put that out there because people think on the surface, actors and performers are the most confident people in the world. And in my experience, it's often the opposite. So again, this mindset that it's like, oh, some people are just confident, they're born confident. The first thing that I would suggest is let's remove that thought, let's remove that belief, because it's not useful. And here's the other thing. If you believe you're somebody that isn't confident, here's the interesting bit, right? And again, this is through experience of coaching a range of different people over the last few years. I've had this happen multiple times. When I've worked with someone, they're like, I really am not confident. I've really struggled with confidence. I'm not a confident person. And I look at them and I say, you just said that very confidently, right? They're super confident in the fact that they're not confident. And that's the next thing I just want you to be aware of. As confidence is a behavioral trait, as it's a learned behavior, It's something that we can all have within us in the right environment and the right circumstances. So let's lose this idea that we're not confident, because you're confident in certain things. It's more just about what are the things that make us lack confidence. And that's what I'm going to work on tonight. This is the thing that I'm going to speak about in this. I've got 3 things to focus on that are going to help you focus on bringing confidence into your life on a daily basis. And what I want to say to you is confidence isn't something we're born with, but equally, it isn't something we get to keep. Really important. We don't get to just keep confidence. You don't hit a certain level in life and then suddenly it's like, I'm confident for the rest of my life. Therefore, confidence is something that we earn and we must continually earn on repeat. And the way that I would kind of compare that is it's like muscle in the gym, right? Just because you might work really hard for 3 years on building a physique and building solid muscle tissue, if you then stop training for a year, you're going to lose most of that muscle. You don't get to keep it, right? So the one thing I want everybody listening right now to truly understand is that is exactly the same with confidence. As I said, confidence is evidence-based. So we need to be producing evidence on a regular basis, just like you'd put the reps in the gym. You'd keep on lifting those weights. That's how you're going to maintain muscle and even build muscle. Confidence is just the same. So here we go. Let's go into the 3 things that I believe are going to help you not only build confidence, but be able to maintain and sustain confidence on a regular basis. So the first thing is this. And this might sound really simple, but are you doing it on a regular basis? So number 1, change your internal dialogue. What I mean by that is, how do you speak to yourself every single minute of every single day? Are the thoughts, are the comments, is the conversation going on in here positive? Is it empowering? Is it encouraging? Is it kind? Is it motivational? Or is it disempowering? Is it negative? Is it demotivating? Is it telling you, I'm not good enough? I can't do that. I shouldn't even try. What's the point? Good things never happen to people like me. I can't earn money. People like us, we're not born into wealth and so on. What's the internal dialogue that's going on? How do you talk to yourself on a daily basis? Would you say you talk to yourself like your best friend that you care about massively, that you really want to see succeed, that you want to support, you want to push, you want to motivate, inspire, you want to encourage? Is that how you speak to yourself? Or do you regularly beat yourself up? Always focus on, I should have done that better. That wasn't perfect. I'm rubbish. I'm not good enough. Maybe I should quit. Let me know in the comments. Generally speaking, put a 1 if 90% of what you say in here about yourself is positive. And put a 2 if you would say over 50% is really negative. Over half of what you say to yourself is disempowering and is negative. So a 1 if the vast majority of what you say every single day is positive, empowering. And number 2, if the vast majority of what you say is negative, disempowering. So I can see on Facebook, Zoe has put a 2. I can see Tracy has put a 1. Sarah put a 3. Not sure what the 3 is. Maybe you want to expand on that. I can say Richard's put a 1. Joanna's put 1.5, so she's somewhere in between. Now, this is one of the biggest things that holds people back, is not just in their day-to-day life, but when they're pushing themselves to be better, their internal dialogue consistently is negative. Now, I want you to reflect on that score that you've put. You've said, oh, generally I talk really positive about myself. I say I'm good enough. I can do this. It's generally empowering and positive. But now think about it, and this is really crucial, when you're doing something you're really scared of, something you don't necessarily want to do, but you know you need to do. So ultimately what I'm talking about here is, how do you talk to yourself when you're out of your comfort zone? A great example would be, maybe you're working with a personal trainer and you're in the gym and the personal trainer goes, right, we're going for a personal best. That weight over there, that bar, I want you to deadlift it. And you're like, I've never ever got anywhere near that weight before. That is really, really heavy. I don't even know if I can do that. I've no evidence that I can do that. I'm feeling a bit weak today. I'm feeling a bit tired today. It's not going to happen. When you're in that stretch zone, when there's fear, when you're nervous, how do you speak to yourself then? Because is it things like, why are you asking me to do that? That's stupid. You know I can't do that. I'm tired today. I've not eaten enough food. I've not got enough calories in me. You know, I can't do that. Is that the sort of stuff you do? I'm scared. No way. No, I'm not doing that today. Is that the way you're speaking in your head? Because 90% of the time, this is what people do. They speak really, really negative before they've even tried. How on earth do you expect that bar to go up? You're not giving it a chance. There's no chance. When as soon as your personal trainer said, come on, we're going to get a personal best, we're going to achieve something we've never done today. If your internal dialogue starts with, oh my God, that's too heavy. Oh, I don't know if I can do that. Oh, I think that's going to be too tough today. Oh, I'm too tired. I don't think I've got it in me. If straight away the conversation going in here is super negative, you've already failed. There's no chance. Now imagine if you flip that and you go, hell yeah, let's give it a try. It's a challenge. Who knows what I can do? I'm going to give it my absolute best. You could even go one further and go, hell yeah, whatever happens, that bar is getting lifted. That bar is going up. I'm going to do this. How different is your mindset going into that? I'm going to give this my absolute best efforts. The chances of just thinking like that alone, based on the fact as well that you've got a good personal trainer that knows you're probably capable of doing it. It's just a new benchmark you've not hit yet, but that personal trainer thinks, yeah, we need to try this now. Chances are it's going to go up. If you've got good technique, if you've been working up towards it for weeks and months, and if you've got a really positive internal dialogue, chances are it's going to go up. Now, here's the important bit. How's your confidence going to be at the end of lifting that? Something you've never ever lifted before, something you were scared to lift, but you gave it a try anyway. So naturally, at the end of pushing ourselves out of our comfort zone and then achieving, we've just provided ourselves with evidence that we can do that. But the point I really want to hone in on this first point is your mind will quit before your body. In these scenarios, generally speaking, your mind will give in, will surrender and say no before your body even tries. So what's really important to recognize is your mind, your beliefs, what you say to yourself is the baseline for everything you have in your life, including confidence. If you lack confidence right now, I guarantee you at the core of why you lack confidence is because of how you speak to yourself every single day. And importantly, it's how you speak to yourself when you're in the face of adversity and challenge, when things get tough. Because anyone can feel great when everything's going great. Everyone can be confident when everything's going amazing. But what makes the difference is how do you speak to yourself and how do you apply yourself when things are tough, when you're scared, when it's challenging. That is the most important thing that I recommend you focus on. Because what you tell yourself affects what you do, and what you do affects what you get. And aligned with that, be really careful about your identity. Because a lot of people adopt the identity of somebody who lacks confidence. Oh, I'm a bit of a shy person, me. I'm not very confident. Oh, I couldn't go on a live video. I couldn't stand on stage and speak. Who said? You said. You've made a conscious decision, in spite of the fact that nobody's born with confidence. It's a learned behavior. You've made a conscious decision to tell yourself that you are not a confident person. You do not have the ability to be confident. You are shy. And remember this, you will always act in alignment with who you believe you are. So if you believe you're shy, you'll act shy. If you believe you lack confidence, you will lack confidence. So what we tell ourselves and the identity we adopt is so, so important. And where we get these identities from is generally previous experience. So we might have an experience, I don't know, it might have been when you were 7 at school and you was asked to speak in front of the class and you said something wrong, you stumbled your words, the class laughed at you, ha 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 ha, he's an idiot. Oh, I won't speak out again because I'm no good. I'm too shy. I'm not confident. I can't do that. This is what we do in every area of our life. Our brain is always looking and referencing past experience to inform the present decisions. That's how our brain works. Our brain is always referencing previous experience and how we felt about that experience to therefore make informed decisions about what to do now. So if what happens is we'll have that experience, we then create a story about that experience that, oh, I'm stupid, I'm an idiot, I'm not good enough, maybe I'm not the sort of person that should speak up, I'm not confident enough. This story isn't factual, right? It's not true. It's a story we've created in our mind. We then replay that story time and time again throughout different experiences throughout our life. Then it starts to become a belief. That belief doesn't feel like a belief, it feels like fact. Because by definition, that's what beliefs are to us. They're what we think are true. But whether we think it's true or not, it's still only a belief, it's not a fact. So one thing I advise everyone to do right now is recognize, what's the identity I have? Do I identify as somebody who's not good enough? Do I identify as somebody who's shy, who lacks confidence? And if so, how can I now start to reinforce and shift that identity to start to genuinely banish those limiting beliefs and believe that actually things like, for example, if somebody else can do it, why can't I? Just because I've maybe struggled in the past doesn't mean I don't have the ability to learn, to develop, and improve in the future. And these are the kind of things that I would suggest you want to be focused on. Okay, so that's number one. Number two to that is shifting your focus / visualization. So shift your focus. When we look at why people lack confidence, often it's because they're focusing on the things that are going to make them feel less confident. Generally speaking, you focus on anything apart from the present. So you will focus on previous experiences of where you failed and you wasn't good enough and you mucked up, or you will focus on the future of where you think it could go wrong, and you play out these fake imagined future scenarios which are worst case scenario. Oh, what happens if I say this and then this person thinks this of me and then it goes rubbish and then I embarrass myself and then I don't have that opportunity with that potential partner again, or I ruin the opportunity to get that job and I'll never get the job of my dreams again. This is what we often do. We focus on the things that are, of course, going to make us lack confidence. Remember this, what you focus on, you will find. So if you're going to focus on why you're rubbish, if you're going to focus on why you're not good enough, if you're going to focus on how you're going to make mistakes, you'll find more reasons why you're rubbish and why you're not good enough and why you make mistakes, and you'll start making mistakes. And it comes back to the first point. What you think then starts to influence what you do, and what you do influences the outcome, what you get. So if you focus on mucking up, you increase the chances of mucking up. And then when you muck up, you start to feel like I'm rubbish and your confidence starts to get dented. So please, like, if you just take anything away from this podcast, please focus on what you're saying to yourself, what you're talking about, and consciously start to be more aware on where are you putting the focus? Where are you, when you're in this position where you're about to go for this job interview, what's the story you're playing out? Are you focusing on how bad it could go? Are you focusing on a time in your past where it did go really bad? And if so, take a few minutes, if you can, like take yourself up to like a private space, whether that be going on a walk, sitting in your car, headphones in, whether that be, in a toilet cubicle, wherever you can just get some time on your own and take a few minutes, close your eyes if it helps, and really actively work on shifting that focus. Focus on a time in your life where you did something you were proud of, where something went well. And really go back to that time in your life. Like, Again, this only works if you commit to doing it properly. It doesn't work if you just kind of half-hearted go, yeah, I sort of remember that time it went really well. Yeah. Oh, I'm still nervous. No, actually take a few minutes to play that experience and that memory in your mind. See what you saw as best as you can. Feel what you felt, hear what you heard, and be back in that moment when you genuinely felt elated and you genuinely felt pride, and almost be there for a few moments and just let that sink in. And by just taking that bit of time, like, we know that biologically emotions only take on average 90 seconds to be fully felt. So if we can take 2 or 3 minutes to really focus on triggering positive emotions, they can start to replace that emotional state that we're in, which is negative and disempowering. Okay, so emotions only last 90 seconds. What then re-triggers it is what you focus on. So if you focus on, this is going to go rubbish, I'm going to make a fool of myself, that triggers a lack of confidence, anxiety, overwhelm, stress, fear. But those feelings will be gone in 90 seconds. But we know that very rarely happens. And the reason it rarely happens is because we then decide to keep replaying this story and keep on focusing on the negatives. Okay? So what I'm saying is, have this exercise where you shift your focus to the positives, either a previous experience where something went really well and you were genuinely proud of yourself, or shift this idea, this imagined future of it going terrible and worst case scenario, move it to best case scenario. Start visualizing and playing out, how amazing could this go? How brilliant could I be? What are the things people could say about me? And anybody that's familiar with, top athletes and sort of how they train, how they think, people that have won gold medals, visualization is a huge part of this. It's not just kind of happy, clappy, airy, fairy, like, oh, just tell yourself positive things. No, like, serious visualization and really seeing it will help shift how you feel, change your emotions, change your thoughts. And like I said, thoughts are the catalyst for action, and then action determines the outcome. So that's number 2. Okay, so the third and final point on building confidence, and importantly, as I keep saying, sustaining and maintaining that confidence that we can keep consistently earning, is, if I was like told to condense this into just one point and talk about how to build confidence, only referring to this one point, this would be the one. Because I believe this is probably the most important to get right. So point number 3 is to focus daily on building internal validation. And one of the best ways we can do that is to keep the promises you make to yourself. The other thing linked to this is take specific action on the things you're not confident at doing. Okay? So do the things that you lack confidence in. So let me just sort of break this down a little bit clearer. Internal validation. We've got 2 things that can validate us. External things, they can validate us. Internal things, that can validate us ourselves. Most of us are consistently looking for external validation. It's pretty normal as well. It's not like we've got anything wrong with us. Like, oh God, I'm always looking for other people to praise me. It's perfectly normal. But the issue with it is we put all our control on other people. So, i.e., I only feel confident when somebody compliments me, or somebody, shares my video, likes my post, gives me a nice comment. And this is the danger, I think, for a lot of people, is we're becoming more and more sort of societally focused on external validation. What house you live in, what car you drive, what clothes you watch, what clothes you wear, how many followers you've got online, how many likes that latest post got. We're getting so focused as a society generally on external validation that I believe that is one of the biggest things that makes people lack confidence. So my advice is flip that. A little bit of external validation from time to time, that's fine. That's normal. It's nice. It's nice to be appreciated. But stop relying on it. And instead, put all your energy and efforts into I'll say that again for the podcast. Put all your energy and efforts into earning internal validation. And how we do that ultimately is we create habits daily where we're intentional about doing things that, regardless of anybody else knowing about it, are good for us. So it's kind of like about keeping the promises you make to yourself and having the discipline to see that through. So it's like the little things. One of the examples I always give is, it might be you go over to where the lift is and you go, do you know what? I'm not going to take the lift. I'm going to take the stairs. Why? Because I know that taking the stairs is getting more steps in, and that's healthy and that's good for my body. And I'm doing the best for me. I'm doing the better option. I'm choosing the better option for me. Versus every time you get the lift, you know it's the lazy option. It's the easy option. And every time, this is the important thing I want you to understand. Every time you skip the gym, eat the chocolate instead of the healthy food, take the lift instead of the stairs, pick up a fiver off the floor that you could have handed in and done the decent thing. Every time you do those things that no one else knows about, but you know about, you've almost, this is how I explain it. It's like you've lost a vote for internal validation. So that was an opportunity to get another vote totted up to validate yourself. Because it's not about what other people think or say or know about you. It's about what you know about you. So you know you did the right thing. You know you took the stairs, which was harder than taking the lift. You know, yeah, you ate the healthier option, the more nutritious meal, rather than the chocolate cake. You know you didn't skip the gym. You didn't snooze your alarm. Every time you know that you took the harder path, you did the right thing, you build up another vote of internal validation, so that when you put your head on the pillow at night, you can go to sleep and go, do you know what? I'm proud of myself. I know that I am doing my best. I know that I am choosing the route to be the best version of myself. I'm not choosing the easy route. Now, on the flip side, every single time you do the opposite and you choose the easy route, or you lie to yourself, or you make an excuse, you've just lost a vote to internally validate. Now you need other people to go, oh, it's all right. This is where you need people to agree with you. Oh, it's all right. Yeah, you didn't need to take the stairs. You've had a busy day. Da, 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 da. And obviously, I'm just giving like a few generic examples, but hopefully you get my point. The more that you cut corners, regardless of other people knowing, the more you're going to lack confidence. So this is something that I really want you to think about in an hourly basis, day-to-day basis, weekly basis. Really think, how often are you choosing the easy route? And recognize that if that's regular, that is going to put you in a position where it's going to dent your confidence. So focus on that. Internal validation, not external validation. Make sure you're taking specific action that's going to help you build that internal validation. And just kind of a little bonus tip is, regularly do things that you're uncomfortable doing, things that are challenging, things that are tough, but you know are going to get a good outcome. Take action on these things. And what I would say with that is that requires courage, not confidence. Yeah, doing something that scares you, you don't need to rely on having the confidence that you know it'll be all right. You just need the courage to take that first step and give it a try. And so people might be thinking, well, Matt, I'm listening to this because I struggle with confidence. Now you're saying I need courage. It's kind of the same thing, isn't it? And like, how do I get that? And again, there is no magic wand. There's no magic pill. I'm sorry. If there was, I would give it to us all. It would be amazing. But it's about consciously deciding to commit, to have courage. And again, it stems back to what I said earlier about shifting your focus. So in any scenario where we're stepping out of our comfort zone, where we're stepping into the unknown, we've got two key decisions of what we can choose to focus on. We can choose to focus on fear, or we can choose to focus on faith. Fear that it's going to go wrong and it's going to be rubbish, it's going to be embarrassing, we're going to make a fool of ourselves, or faith that it's going to go really good and good positive outcomes will happen as a direct result. And that's just a decision. You can choose to focus on the fear and the negatives, or you can choose to have faith that I'm just going to take this step. I'm going to have courage. I'm going to push out of my comfort zone. And I'm just going to believe that one way or another, it will be okay no matter what. So, ladies and gents, I hope you found this useful. As I say, there is a full 6-part video series that I've done in my membership area if you want to go much deeper on the subject of confidence. At the moment, it is still completely free to join us in the Success School membership for 14 days. So, if you want to head on over right now and start listening through those 6 videos on confidence, just become a member. Head over to richinsuccess.com, click on the membership area. It'll take you about 60 seconds, maybe 2 minutes max to sign up. It will ask you for payment details just so that you are creating the proper account. But you will not be charged any money right now. You will get 14 days access to all the content, the WhatsApp group, the live Zoom calls, and the guest Zoom calls that we have. And if you like it and you stay a member, it becomes just £19 per month. That is less than 20 quid a month to be around a positive community focused on being the best they can be and getting educated by people that have achieved some great things in business, finances, nutrition, health, well-being, so on, so forth. So head on over to richinsuccess.com, click the membership area if you want to join us. Whatever you do next, I hope you found this useful, and I hope that you're going to apply what you've learned today. If you struggle with confidence right now, remember those 3 things. Just to recap, the first thing, it's about really being mindful of what you tell yourself, your internal dialogue, the identity that you have. Do you tell yourself you're a shy person? You're not a confident person? If so, you need to start to look at changing that. The second thing, if you struggle with confidence in certain environments, shift your focus. Stop focusing on the worst case scenario, shift it to the best case scenario. And the third thing is put less on needing external validation and replace that with putting more focus on how can I internally validate myself every single time. Have courage, pick faith, not fear, and push yourself out of your comfort zone. Thank you so much, everybody, for listening. Please do, if you're not already, hit that subscribe button so that you can get notifications when new episodes come out. And I look forward to seeing you next time.